could replicate that feat in 2024. Germany, Russia, Brazil, Kazakhstan and Oman have all tasted world titles. Is this the year the hosts get to sample that feeling in their very own backyard? The most experienced side at international level, Belgium, will be fully intending on putting an early dent in those dreams. Group winners last year, they went out to Albania. The house is full, the expectation is high. It's game one of the TUI Soccer World Championships, but first it will be the national anthems.
Tenemos a los dos equipos para este primer partido. ¿Estamos listos, Cancún? Yo tengo que decir algo. El año pasado en la Copa América de Soccer me llevé el balón oficial autografiado por toda la selección mexicana que se coronó como campeón. Este año, ¿de quién será ese balón? I have to say something. Last year, on this Soccer America's Fiesta, I get the official ball with all you guys from Mexico who were the champions. So who's gonna be this year champion? I can hear you, no te escucho, Cancún. ¿Quién será el campeón de este año? Vamos a dar inicio a la ceremonia oficial de este partido con los himnos nacionales de cada uno de los dos equipos. Le pido a todo el público silencio y de manera respetuosa entonemos los himnos de estas dos naciones. So we're about to start, and we're going to do it with the national anthems of these two teams. So could you all please be silent and respectfully listen to the anthems of these two teams for this TUI Soccer World Championship.
Por favor, todas y todos de pie para proceder a la ceremonia de himnos de este partido inaugural.
Number 8, Juan Pablo Munoz. Number 9, Norman Tenorio. Those are the two strikers. David Roman, 10, 11 Santiago.
of Belgium.
inspired, chocks away. The world has arrived for the TUI Soccer World Championship for 2025 here in Cancun. I'm Dan Shaw, here for game one, and right the way through the tournament, alongside me, Rob Burke, my old buddy from 2 years ago. You're finally here, Rob. It's upon us.
Indeed, soccer season is here. It's World Championship time, Dan. And I'm a man who loves to reminisce, and if we wound the clock back to 2023, we'd be looking at a potential game of the tournament contender this early on, because these two teams back then were a force to be reckoned with. Times have changed, but anything can happen in soccer, so we'll have to wait and see what's in store between these two.
Yeah, Mexico, of course, back-to-back Copa America champions. They won it first time here in Cancun in 2024, and then in 2025 they won it in Brazil. So they're a top side. They've come close at times in World Championships. They've got to come a little closer this time. Notable is that Jose Pulido not in the side, so we would make Mexico one of the favourites, but the fact that Jose Pulido isn't in the Mexico squad will set them back early on.
Absolutely, and finding out so late on that he wasn't going to be part of the squad is a little bit of a blow, like you said. But Belgium, bit of an unknown quantity these days, because as I said, if you wind the clock back, I'd be more excited about perhaps watching the Belgian team and what they can do. But it's been an up and down road since 2023 for them, Dan.
Yeah, it really has. At times Belgium have absolutely stunned us, and at other times have not been quite so good. A little bit of a wobble when they were in the America Cup last year. Also in the Euro Cup as well, though they did manage to progress from the group stages. But one notable name among the ranks of Belgium is their coach, Jonas Blondin, who is about, when they play Ireland, to make his 100th game in charge. He actually took Belgium on as a soccer side before the IMF were actually established. So he's ISF rather, were established. He's been around the block, so still got a little bit to give for Belgium. Certainly on the pitch he might be coming to the end, but as a coach we expect him to be around for quite some time. The best finish at a World Championship though, Mexico, is fourth. They really have got the best chance, surely, Rob, on home soil of finally winning the trophy.
Look, walking into the stadium today, we didn't know what to expect, but the buzz was evident immediately. The fans have turned out in their numbers, and they're loud and proud, and that does make a difference. We saw it in Essen, for example, when the stadium was slap bang in the middle of the city centre. The support was spectacular there, and if it's anything like it was then, well, Mexico certainly have an advantage.
Well, you might already know, Mexico are in white this evening. It's 8:20 local time. Belgium, of course, then in the black, and it's going to be Belgium who get us underway in the TUI Soccer World Championship. This early to the edge of the area, and fast approaching was Benchek Sofian. Luna happy to get his hands on that, and that was a rapid start from Belgium. Mexico have a chance now to put their foot on the ball. There's Brian Hernandez, who played at the World Championships in Oman in 24. Luna in the red and pink is the captain. Up it goes. Challenge coming in from Karim Tafi, and that's a beautiful little turn. Nice layoff. This is a good start from Belgium, but Mexico have it back. And the opening minute or so, Rob, has been pretty quick and end to end.
Absolutely, and it's nice to see they're under pressure. The Belgian defender didn't panic.
Sorry, Rob, putting himself under pressure there and panicking slightly was Juan Camarena, who saw that ball go out. Kojikaru sends it long, and then shouts at his defender, as all good goalkeepers do when they make a mistake.
You mentioned the advantage that Mexico will have here, being the home side. It's on Belgium really to silence the fans and get off to a good start, and part of that is confidence in defending.
Now he will shoot, this guy, Luis Luna. He loves to have a pop from range. Instead he gives it to the right hand side this time, and it will be a corner. for Mexico, which will be taken by the number 27, who is Sergio Gonzalez, who scored versus Latvia and Peru at the World Cup 24 in Amman and against Uruguay at the Copa America this year.
He's an ominous figure as he creeps his way forward to the halfway line. A man on a mission.
Belgium don't want to press him, but as I say, if they open up, he'll have a go. And here he goes, Luna, wide of the post. Wow, it's a dangerous tactic against Luis Luna, Rob.
His eyes were locked in on the goal from the second he took his first touch.
Under pressure was Koshikaru, clears it away. Off of a Mexican shoulder, brought down nicely at the feet of Sergio Gonzalez. There he is again. Mexico happy to slow down just momentarily as Eric Paris passes out now into the middle. Slightly loose touch will give Belgium possession again. No foul. Lovely ball through. Didn't quite read it there, Skodra.
It hasn't quite worked out for them in the final third yet, Belgium, but they're clearly happy to just sit back and invite Mexico onto them. And if they can nick it and string a few passes together, might see a few decent chances from the men in black.
Yeah, well, Belgium haven't... Well, I'm just going to wait for Luna before you tell you this one. He passes it off. They haven't lost a World Cup group game since 2022, Belgium.
You don't want to jinx them too, really.
Curse of the commentator may well strike. The strike for now has hit a Mexican leg and almost rolling into the path of the waiting number 13 in the area, Brian Magdaleno. Instead, it goes out for the corner. Clipped to the back post. Clever touch from Hernandez. Fainted pass down the line gives Belgium a chance to attack. And across comes a stern challenge from Magdaleno.
They're not far off it, Belgium. They just need to tidy things up at the back. It's getting a little bit nervy.
Well, that was a full-blooded challenge from both players. Fair. And eventually a kick-in is awarded, and it's an award for Mexico given by Latvia's Artis Kellins.
You'll know better than anyone, Dan, it's difficult to break teams down in soccer. You have to be pretty precise when they're sitting as deep as Belgium are, and if they can string the passes together, as I said, the opportunity on the counter-attack is absolutely there for Mexico.
Well, driving through the middle, it's a good drive out to the right-hand side, back into the area, and it just goes across the face and out of play, but it was a decent bit of trickery from Eric Paris.
They don't need much, this Mexican crowd, to get going at half a chance and they're on their feet.
Yeah, there's a fiesta-like mode, not just in this stadium, but just with the Mexicans in general. They've got that real Latin flair and zest for life. And when there's a ball rolling about a pitch, and the noise levels and the excitement rises. Football mad country.
Just hasn't quite clicked for either team really in that attacking third. Just that final ball missing for both teams. I think Mexico will be the happier of the two so far.
Well, that's a long ball forward. It's poked away and it's down at the feet of Magdaleno. Now it's Brian Hernandez. He might shoot. Instead he feints and goes out to the right-hand side. A robust challenge from Arbor Skodra. Mexico will try again. And one thing I will say about Mexico, they have got more players in their squad than any other that have scored soccer goals at international level. There are bags of goals in this team. Here come the Mexicans looking for that opener, and across to the rescue was Hamzoui. Difficult ask of Azagari, no foul on the Belgian left-hand side, who did well really to get a turn on it and get the ball in towards the area, but no black shirt arriving. That's a decent run into the area, breaks loose on the edge, and that was going in, and that was a clearance by Abdur Skodra that rescues Belgium.
Two huge defensive moments from the Belgians. The captain first up swooping in to nick it off the toes of the attacker, and then a clearance off the line. All of a sudden it's panic stations.
Mexico just beginning to find their rhythm. Just a little bit of miss-passing and a little out of range, but here will come Belgium on the counter-attack, and it looks like that's what they've set up for. They've done it well. There's a man at the back post. If they can find him, they do. It's touchdown, and Mexico will stand firm for the time being. Still at the feet, and a shot comes in from the foul. Hits a Mexican leg, but Mexico have got to be wary of Belgium on the counter, it would seem.
Indeed, and look, from a Mexican point of view, they're settling in nicely, and it's all well and good. Belgium sitting off them and inviting the pressure and pouncing when they get their moment, but they've got to be careful here. They do not want to let the home side settle.
Well, here they come. Belgium looking for the opener, and they almost found it from the foot of Verkotteren, wide of the post. But this Belgium side look like a team who are bang up for it.
They've got to be clinical, though. Those chances are going to be few and far between. Mexico is certainly going to have the lion's share of possession. And when those opportunities come, Dan, you've got to see the man in the box there.
Let off for Mexico. Here is Luis Luna. He strikes again and off the head of Karim Tafi for the corner. And he's probably not done with his shooting tonight, Luis Luna.
You've got to love it. The keepers are just so ominous when they get forward.
Short corner taken. It's a little congested on that touchline. Hernandez will try and wriggle away to find some space. At the back with Paris. And there he is again. Not in a rush to close Belgium. Mexico are trying to force the Belgians onto the ball. They're not doing that. Nice 1-2. We'll find a little room for a moment. Into the near post. Kozhikari down well. This is where they've looked dangerous so far. It was a ball in from Skodra that hit a Mexican leg, but again, Belgium looking to hit Mexico on the counter-attack.
It's just so important that they keep it tight as we approach 10 minutes into the game, because if they do concede, the game plan's out the window, and it's probably out the window a little bit too early for them to get a result. So if they can keep that clean sheet and time ticks on.
Oh, that was a ball into the air, and I tell you what, hands on head from the man who put it in. It was no foul. That wasn't far away.
You're not hugely confident, right, if you're Mexico, that you're not going to be punished on the counter-attack here. Belgium, albeit without that final touch and finish, look dangerous.
Well, that's nice play from the Mexicans. I think it took a little double ricochet there. And it will be a corner for Mexico. Changes being made. 2 for Mexico there. Trying to fizz it into the near post, but standing up was Hamzaoui. Well, it wasn't a bad volley. It was always going to be a difficult one to keep down, Rob, but Cruz Rivera did what he could, but he couldn't hit the target.
Look, that's what you want if you're Belgian, seeing Mexico taking efforts on the volley from outside the area. When they click, we've already seen how quick their passing is, how accurate it can be. But if you can limit them to smashing, well, half chances from outside the box, you'll take that against Mexico.
Yeah, I think they'll be pretty pleased with their start so far, the Belgians. That's nice feet from no foul. Not quite so from the pass. Cantero scored against Greece in Germany in 2023. Luna under pressure. Gets the ball out. Little slip will give Belgium the ball back. Now this man looks well in the mood at the moment. Loses possession. Forward will come Rivera into the feet of Aguirre. Crowd like that. Surging run, kept in, miscontrolled. And forward they'll come again. It wasn't a bad ball, it was read really well by Jose Aguirre. He's been around, he scored against Belgium and Canada at the Copa America this year. Scored against Australia last year in the World Cup and Uruguay in the Copa America before that.
You don't score as many goals as Mexico do without taking risks, without getting bodies up the field. And one thing I would say is you can't underestimate them defensively either. If they are in position, they're so smooth with it. They don't have that moment of panic when Belgium come forward.
Oh, here's a big chance for Mexico. This could be it, and it's not. And forward now will come Belgium on that counter. Oh, it's a loose pass, and it's a disappointing pass that, Rob. End-to-end stuff, but Mexico missing their opportunity. It was a big opportunity, really, for Belgium to find a way through. Unable to do so. Off and running again. That's given away. And down to ground goes the Belgian. Artis Kellens wags his finger and says no. Little soft for you, Rob?
A little bit soft. I did wonder for a moment whether we'd see a soccer penalty there.
Well, we still haven't got our goal. Mexico, though, are always big goal scorers. They scored the most goals at the World Championships in 23, 37 of them. Up to the edge. There's a bit of space. That's lovely feet. It's a lovely goal. Brandon Garcia gives Mexico lift off under the lights. And as he did against Canada at the Copa America this year, he nets for his country. The hosts are off and running, Rob Burke.
It was a superb finish, and we mentioned that the Belgian side would just want to hold out in the first half, keep it tight, but that goal is huge because now the Belgians are going to have to come forward, and that's exactly what the Mexicans want them to do.
Well, here they come, trying to edge forward and giving away, and this is exactly what Rob's talking about.
Look, it's a very common saying in soccer, but goals change games. And in a game like this, where you've got one side coming forward and one side that's happy to sit, one goal makes all the difference because tactically, the Belgian are going to have to switch this up now.
Well, 6.5 minutes to go in the first half. I don't think there'll be any panic just yet, but a second goal might just start creeping in. Lovely football. Well defended in the end. Given away, and that will be a kick in, and it will be for Mexico.
Those are the kind of mistakes, though, Dan, when you do go a goal behind. As much as you say it's a bit early to change the tactics, the players will have it in their minds. They're behind now.
Artis Kellens has stopped something because there's conversations between the referees about something. They're still having a chat. Any ideas what that one's about, Rob?
Well, someone below me is shouting outside the area, but I can't imagine what that would be about. They're not happy.
Well, they'll stop it, and there is RVAS, which is soccer's equivalent to VAR, and if they think that there's something to take a look at, then they will. Now the Latvian referee, Artis Kellens, is getting a little bit frustrated because I don't think he quite knows exactly what it is that the Mexicans are appealing. And as you say, the head coach is saying it's on the line. Now, is he trying to say that there's a penalty there? I honestly can't work it out.
I'm not sure. They're not happy at all down to our right, Dan. And it is the Mexicans protesting here. There's almost no movement though on the Belgium side of things. I'm not sure anyone really knows.
Well, there's a few puzzled Belgian faces on the pitch at the moment. But on we go. Kick in for Mexico. Back to Rivera and then Luna in the Mexican penalty area. Out for Cantero. Fronting up with no foul. Just losing a little grip at times, aren't they, when they're on the turn on this new slick surface. Cantero chased down by no foul.
I'm glad you mentioned it. Is a beautiful pitch. Credit where it's due.
Oh, it looks stunning on the overhead drone shots. A really vibrant colour. down, clutching his leg, goes Brandon Garcia, the Mexican goal scorer, and we are approaching half-time. Tricky feet down the right, defended well by the Belgians. This is where beforehand they were getting out, but there's not quite that fast breakaway in numbers at the moment.
Well, following the kerfuffle, should we call it, on the touchline, there were some very stern instructions handed to a couple of the Mexico players as to what they were told. We'll have to wait and see.
Trotting forward. He might go again. Instead he goes wide to the right, into the area, and there's a little flick he just didn't quite get hold of, Jose Aguirre.
It's a lovely trait, isn't it, when you know your goalkeeper can hit it. Everybody in the defence is panicking, and then he just caresses one out wide, and a chance is created from nothing.
Yeah, that's right. You're just dragging that man out of position and just offering a little more space. And that's why he's so important. But as I say, he doesn't mind a shot, and he hits one, Luna! And again, it's off the head of a Belgian player.
Not every keeper can pull it off, but when you can hit them like that, you do create the space, because you can't take the chance that he isn't going to bury one.
Well, he did hit the crossbar a few times in Oman, Luna. He didn't score last year. He did score against Uruguay at the Copa America this year.
You just know he wants to mark that tally board and tell his defenders he scored more than them.
He might well shoot more than them. Well, here's a chance perhaps for Belgium to break, but again, it's just a little lacklustre, and there wasn't a lot of numbers heading forward to try and help out Mexico back on the ball, and now, Rob, all of a sudden just feel a lot more in control.
Absolutely, it's just not quite clicking for Belgium. They've had the opportunities, as you said. They had a few early on, and they actually made their way into opposition territory, but the touch just isn't there at the moment.
Well, here they come, Belgium. Now this is a chance to counter at pace, and they did that, but coming back magnificently was Jose Aguirre to put a toe in and put the ball out for a Belgian corner.
Much more like it from the captain there, striding forward with authority, and they look dangerous, and they've got a corner. They've got to make it count though. They haven't spent much time up that end of the field.
Last minute, Belgian corner for the Cotteren. On the volley, and it goes right back where it came from. And that will be Mexico's, and I think that went out for a kick in rather than a goal kick, and that's a little embarrassing.
I wasn't going to mention it. He was the man who won the corner, so we'll let him off.
Luna playing out, bit of a shirt pull. In fact, there was more than a bit of a shirt pull. He nearly took the jersey home with him, and that will be a free kick for Mexico. And I know Frankie, our other commentator, is looking to take a Mexico jersey home with him too.
Get in line. I don't mind that from the captain though.
Well, that's broken loose on the edge, and it's a nice recovery. And again, Belgium will have to come forward, and they're just not getting that pass right, are they?
No, the captain there just trying to show a bit of fight, a bit of energy. Gave away the foul and almost inspired his team there to get forward, but again, it's just not quite landing.
Whistle blown, half-time, Mexico have got us off and running and underway at the TUI Soccer World Championship with a 1-goal lead at half-time. Brandon Garcia with that goal, and you mentioned it, Rob, you told us in the opening 5-10 minutes you can't miss those kind of chances, the ones that Belgium were afforded early on, and they might live to regret it, and that's what's happened so far.
Absolutely, Mexico impressive, and I think it's fair to say unsurprisingly impressive. We knew what we were in store for. You don't score that many goals without being brave and sending bodies forward, and for a while the Belgian game plan looked to be almost perfect. If you're resolute at the back and you're creating those opportunities, that's a good start, but you've got to take your chances when they come, because Mexico won't keep letting you get them. They can score goals, but they're pretty good at defending too, Dan, and they showed that once they settled down, and really in the last 10 minutes or so there wasn't a sniff for Belgium.
We've only had 20 minutes of seeing what this new look Belgium side is all about, but they do look like a side who have got plenty of athletes. There is some athleticism, some speed in there. They've just got to tidy up a little bit, haven't they, with that final pass, particularly on the break, if they're going to get past Mexico, because Mexicans are pretty quick themselves. They do get back in numbers. We've seen them with a couple of recoveries at the end of those counter-attacks. So a few tweaks, a little bit of improvement from Belgium, and they've got every chance to, you think?
Absolutely. Look, I'm a firm believer there's a lot of different ways to play soccer. You can be a side that's defensive and breaks. You can be a side that likes your possession. Look, Belgium clearly have a game plan. We saw it from the very start. The point being, if you're going to play soccer like that, you've got to keep the clean sheet for as long as you can, and you've got to take the chances. Look, the number of chances that they got diminished as time went on, as Mexico got more confident. But in the second half now, they can just get back to how they started the game. There's only one goal in it, Dan, and they're not far off getting that final touch right, and the finish will be there. As you said, they've got the athletes, and once upon a time they had clinical players in their squad. Look, they've just got to start the second half as they started the first, and they've just got to keep Mexico from scoring, which is very easy to say sat up here in the stands.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cliche as old as time, isn't it? But the next goal is so important in this one.
Absolutely, it's massive. Look, goals change games, but in a game where you've got a team willing to attack and send bodies forward, and then a team sitting back, happy to absorb the pressure and break, that first goal changes everything for both sides. And we saw that. Mexico got their goal and they settled, and there was more room and there was more chances, and all of a sudden Belgium just getting a little bit desperate. A couple of fouls in there, a couple of moments where they're in the final third and they think, oh God, we're in the final third, we need a good finish here, and it didn't quite come. The second goal, as you said, is almost bigger, because if Belgium go 2 goals behind, that's when it truly is panic stations, because as I said, Mexico, they're pretty good at defending too.
Should Belgium be worried that we haven't actually seen Mexico quite hit their straps yet?
It's a good point. That is a good point, because they showed flashes in the first half of when they string those passes together. They are unbelievable to watch. One of the best in the world. It's the accuracy of the pass. And it's a lot like back when Mesut Ozil was in the Premier League for Arsenal and Giroud was up top, and it was just, they were almost passing it into the goal. And don't get me wrong, with their goalkeeper, Luna, they're happy to take a shot, but they work it so brilliantly, and as you said, they haven't quite clicked yet, which will be in the back of the Belgian players' minds, that if they do settle in and show us what they're all about, really, and what they've shown us in previous tournaments, the scoreline could very quickly get away from Belgium. So it's a big start to the second half.
Yeah, well, Mexico have only faced Belgium once at a major tournament, and that was in the Copa America this year. They won it by 8-0. It was 3-0 at half time, so that's an improvement in itself, Rob. 5 goals in 12 second half minutes made it Mexico's biggest win of their tournament. So perhaps some old scars remain on the Belgians. There were a few in that side as well that day. And to add a little bit of insult to injury, to make it just an even trickier touch, just to give you some idea, Mexico have the second best win percentage of any of the nations in world soccer. 81.08% win rate. So Belgium with some work to do.
They play on the biggest stage, Dan. That's not an easy record to achieve. And look, it's not a huge mountain to climb, but I think the key point is it's not a huge mountain to climb yet. If Mexico hit their stride, as you say, and get another goal, all of a sudden, it's panic stations.
Yeah, may end up, if Mexico get an early goal, being a case of damage limitations. That's nice from Kojikaru. Pocket picked, and chance for Mexico at the near post, and as Kojikaru knew that was going wide, just let it slide through.
Little moment for the show reel there. Cut the clip just before the chance is conceded and stick with the lovely footwork from the keeper.
That will be a kick in for Mexico. Magdaleno. Back for Luna. Here he comes again. It's a difficult pass to control, and they didn't quite execute it well enough, and so Belgium have it. Lengthy ball, headed out of play by Mexico. Kick in for Belgium. It's with Anas Hamzawi. Marcus Kellen's asking for a slightly more room for this Belgian kick in. Karim Tafi has got a two-man wall in front of him. Does mean there'll be a little bit more space in and around the area, but it's not going to make any difference with a pass like that, Rob. And that really is what we're talking about, with just Belgium missing slightly on that execution.
It's a wasted opportunity, but more importantly, it's just frustrating. If your teammates there, look, we've got a chance, we're in the final third, and it just goes to waste. It's just going to frustrate you, and you've got to be patient playing the way that Belgium are, and things like that just test that patience ever so slightly.
Mexico enjoying a lot more of the ball at their feet. That was the case towards the end of the second half. And they just look happy to be on it. It's not a hot potato with Mexico.
I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more disruption though, as again, happy to let them have it in their own half, but as soon as they cross that white line, I'd like to see a little bit more hustle from the Belgians. You can't let Mexico settle in your half.
There's a little bit of hustle there from Moman Sahir. Gets a free kick. Can't miss Moman Sahir with that shock of hair.
Who's got ALS?
It is. And there he is. Just trying to spin and roll it in for George Aliwai. One of two Aliwais in the side. Bogdan Aliwai, the goalkeeper, sitting on the bench at the moment. Blocked off from the pass of Skodra. Kick in for Belgium. Over will trot the number 4, Karim Tafi. Back it goes for Hamzawi. And again, a ball that just doesn't quite find the target. You feel like they're close, Belgium, but it's just missing something at the moment.
Yeah, look, they're trying. The issue is the more and more balls go to waste like that. It's a complete waste, and that's where the frustration comes in. And as I said, you've got to be patient playing like they are. And when you get the opportunity to make something happen, look, you don't always have to go for the Gerrard crossfield pass. Just get your foot on the ball.
Kojikaru under a little bit of pressure and going long and giving it away. That was read really early by Skodra. And here he is. Chip to the back stick. At the feet of Hamzawi. Shot comes in from Karim Tafi. And that one's gone to the waterfront that's occupied by Crocs. So I don't fancy going to collect that one.
Not at all. I think on the field, though, again, they've got the ball there on the edge of the Mexico area. Just like to see a little bit more movement off the ball. Mexico are a perfect example of this. They move so well. There's always options. It's like a whirlwind around the player with the ball, and options left, right, forward. Belgium at the moment don't quite have that.
Nicely defended by Brian Hernandez to nod it out of play. Kick in for Belgium. Got to start making some of these count now.
It's better off the ball, bit of movement.
Run himself into not much space. Chance for Mexico on the counter-attack this time, and they might just show the Belgians how to do it. Plenty of men in black back for the Belgians, though, and that's given away and into the arms of Kojikaru. And once again, it's read perfectly. And here's a charge. It was poked off the toe by Eric Paris, and Kojikaru had to sprawl to the left-hand side and push it away.
Patience is key when you play like this, and that was impatient there, just rushing things and concedes the opportunity. Fortunate, really, that it's only one.
Corner for Mexico to the edge. And arriving was Brian Hernandez, just trying to guide it goalwards, but 2 or 3 Belgians surrounding him. That's Hernandez there. Well, it's a free kick, and it's probably a challenge that wasn't necessary by Sahir because he wasn't keeping that in.
Does just feel that this Belgium side are playing in a gear that their car just doesn't quite have. It's just a little bit too much. The pace of the ball is quick off this turf, and look, they're all right with the ball at their feet, but as soon as that pass comes in,
Luna hits it.
the Mexicans much more comfortable playing at this kind of pace though, Dan.
Yeah, and you feel as though there is an extra gear or two about Mexico. Now that is beautiful footwork from Hernandez. Very strong, solid challenge this time from Karim Tafi.
They do just threaten to slip it into 5th, don't they?
Yeah, there are just little moments, and you just wonder, mate, is that tactical in soccer? Are they just trying to preserve those legs for the long run up to the final, should they get there?
The plan for Mexico absolutely has to be to get to the final and win it, so they will be planning long term, but we've seen sides fall victim to that in the past, where they look too far forward and forget the here and now.
Luna to Magdaleno. And Luna once more, this time going out to the other side for Gonzalez. Nod to the edge, on the spin was Sahir. And I just like the fact that he took it on there, Rob. It didn't come off, but he fancied it, did it early.
There's chances. The only issue is the last handful of chances that Belgium have had.
Luna scooping, touch and wide, and it would have been a magnificent goal for Mexico, but just wide of the post from Gonzalez.
The contrast is there. How decisive and cutting was that move from Mexico there? It's almost exactly what Belgium are trying to do.
Well, it's a stunning, breathtaking touch in the area. It wasn't all that far away. Here's Paris. And now Luna. Normally takes it in turns, Luna. One's a pass and the next one's a shot, so I fancied it might be. Blocked by Hamzawi. Don't think that one was going to be troubling his opposite number. That's given away. Rob getting wet all of a sudden as the rain runs off the tarpaulin.
Just had an early shower.
And that's Paul. Mexico with some space for the time being. Wriggling away down the right-hand side. Across the face it goes. Belgium have very calmly dealt with it. Kojikaru trying to clear is blocked off by the foot of Camarena. And they get away with it. Are you okay, Rob? You back? You dry?
I'm back. So,
well, there's a long ball and it's nodded away again. And Mexico have done their work defensively well so far. Brandon Garcia, the goal scorer, heading it out and away out of play. Corner for Mexico, for Belgium. It's Julian Vercotteren who hit it towards the near post. I wonder if he was just trying the shot. So here was flying in. Karim Tafi to Hamzawi. Still just the one goal in it halfway through the second half. Kojikaru gives it away though. To the edge and a shot saved by Kojikaru. Not the best pass, it has to be said there, from Sahir. Belgium give it away. Challenge came in from Shkodra, but it lands again at the feet of the Mexicans.
It looked like they'd missed the opportunity there. Heavy touch on the edge of the area, but in the end it perfectly set up the teammate. And a wonderful save. Another one for the highlight reel.
That's Brandon Garcia. To Luis Luna, keeping Ricardo Tellez off the pitch at the moment. The other goalkeeper for Mexico. Flicked through and still remains in the possession of the Mexicans. And no free kick given, a little too soft.
Call out of the game, just referees, they're in charge and don't question it.
Well, he was To do it all by himself. Might have got a little bit of the rub of the green. Unable. Heavy touch.
The recovery run from Rivera there was superb.
Well, might have another chance. Took a little nick, that one, and changed direction. Sahir was lurking at the back stick. That's a decent ball. That's a decent touch.